For anyone wondering why American Eagles have such high premiums, or anyone thinking that the premiums are going to start dropping anytime soon, let me read this paragraph to you from numismaticnews.net. The U.S. Mint's problem of obtaining sufficient silver to meet public demand could be cured by changing the law to give the mint greater price flexibility. I doubt that would ever be considered. The federal government has a strong interest in holding down silver and gold prices as a major tactic to minimize the interest rate it pays on its own $30 trillion of debt. This concern would almost certainly override any consideration of allowing the U.S. Mint the flexibility to acquire sufficient silver. So, as long as the market price for physical silver remains consistently higher than the paper commodity contract price, the U.S. Mint is going to continue experiencing difficulty in obtaining sufficient silver. Real quick, before we jump into this very important video regarding the US Mint and the silver shortage, I wanted to share my 55,000 subscriber silver giveaway entry video, which is now live. The link's in the description or the pinned comment. May the luckiest stackers win. This all started in 2020 when the US Mint ran out of silver. Just ran out completely. Had to make a 1 million mintage emergency supply at the end of the year going into 2021 from the San Francisco Mint. Now you can see this article is from June 2nd, 2021. You could see that over the years until now, and actually their last statement was a couple weeks ago, they're still having problems with the silver shortage. It started in 2020 and it's still going into 2022, which now they are going up against Congress. This is still going on, and there's no sign of any resolution anytime soon, which I'll also talk about later in this video. But they are non-compliant with several different laws and regulations. They cannot meet the demand. They're having a hard time finding these silver blanks or the planchets to make these coins, and a lot of it has to do with their suppliers. Now, I'm going to go down here real quick and bring this up first because this gives a lot of context. The U.S. Mint runs the risk of only receiving the minimum amount of silver eagle dollar planchets from these suppliers as specified in the purchase contracts. Unfortunately, now the Mint does not have the equipment or personnel to again resume acquiring their own silver, once more creating their own planchets in large quantities. As I understand it, the Mint has been able to negotiate some increase in silver eagle dollar planchet supplies on the basis of being major longtime customers of these suppliers. However, these suppliers also have huge profit incentives to provide the U.S. Mint the minimum number of planchets. The minimum number. In addition to there being difficulties of the U.S. Mint obtaining sufficient silver eagle dollar planchets from their suppliers, there is also the difficulty of actually obtaining physical silver upon maturity of the commodity contracts. This is something that is just not gonna go away. These other suppliers are making money from it, and a lot of their silver actually is bought from these private mints. Private mints don't have the same laws and regulations as government mints, hence the U.S. Mint, Royal Canadian Mint, and the Perth Mint having trouble finding these planchets. They don't have the same laws as private mints. And if you want proof that the U.S. Mint has different laws and regulations and these codes that are being broken are proving to push premiums higher, well, I'll show you right now. You're going to hear a lot of people speculating on why premiums are going up. Let's look into why this all started. This year, the U.S. Mint said they would not strike the new Morgan and silver piece dollars as it was experiencing difficulty in coming up with an adequate supply of the silver planchets. That's when we got news of this whole situation. They went up against Congress because they were non-compliant with the demand, or they were non-compliant in violation of code with the demand. Well, let's look into it. So again, the U.S. Mint is being blamed for not providing as many coins in qualities and quantities that the Secretary determines are sufficient to meet public demand. And that's text from 31 U.S. Code 5112E. Now it gets even worse. To acquire silver to strike silver eagles, 31 U.S. Code 5112F1, requires that the Secretary shall sell the coins minted under subsection E Silver Eagles to the public at a price equal to the market value of the bullion at the time of the sale, plus costs of minting, marketing, and distributing such coins, including labor, materials, dyes, use of machinery, promotional, and overhead expenses. Now, 31 U.S. Code 5116A3 states in part, the secretary shall pay not more than the average world price for the gold. 31 U.S. Code 5116B2 states in part, the secretary shall not pay more than the average world price for silver under any circumstances. As used in this paragraph, the term average world price means the price determined by a widely recognized commodity exchange at the time the silver is being obtained by the secretary, which is the LBMA, London Bullion Market Association. Since we have some of this now, revealing and showing itself, the U.S. Mint is prevented from complying with one statutory requirement to produce silver American Eagles sufficient to meet public demand by another statutory requirement that prohibits it from paying a price higher than the paper market spot price. And as the last article we just covered shows the reason, right? They don't have suppliers, and the suppliers are profiting heavily from this whole situation, so they're not going to cut down anytime soon. And private mints aren't going to have this problem because they don't have these types of codes and laws. And the U.S. Mint actually gets a lot of their silver from the private mints, which are profiting from this entire situation. So do you think this situation is going to end anytime soon? No. And this article even says the same thing either, that they don't think it will. So premiums probably aren't going to start lowering at all, which is the whole reason I wanted to make this video. Is if the U.S. Mint, which sold, by the way, 5 million ounces the first month of January this year, is having a hard time producing or even finding silver to make these coins, and demand keeps rising, they're probably going to have another situation like they did in 2020 when they run out of eagles or silver. Let's keep moving on. Other private and government minting operations are able to acquire silver at prices above the commodity market spot prices, and they are doing so, like I just said. Therefore, they are more likely to obtain the silver they need because they are paying higher prices than the limit imposed on what the U.S. Mint can pay. The U.S. Mint's problem of obtaining sufficient silver to meet public demand could be cured by changing the law to give the mint greater price flexibility. I doubt that would ever be considered. I doubt that would ever be considered. Meaning, this problem isn't going to just fix itself or poof, go away, and next year premiums are coming down like a lot of people are saying. The federal government has a strong interest in holding down silver and gold prices as a major tactic to minimize the interest rate it pays on its own $30 trillion of debt. Now, let me tell you something. Most people that are going to say I'm wrong already clicked off of this video. They're not going to get into the meat and potatoes and hear all this. They're going to click off probably a minute or two after the video, probably leave a comment saying I'm wrong, even though I'm the one showing the data and they're going all off speculation. This concern would almost certainly override any consideration of allowing the U.S. Mint the flexibility to acquire sufficient silver. It would override any consideration. So as long as the market price for physical silver remains consistently higher than the paper commodity contract price, the U.S. Mint is going to continue experiencing difficulty in obtaining sufficient silver. That right there explains it all. The U.S. Mint is going to continue experiencing difficulty in obtaining sufficient silver. And this article is written from numismaticnews.net. This isn't just some bottom of the line news reporter article no, this is numismatic news, guys. This is legit stuff. These codes are real. We have another article. The U.S. Mint cancels the 2022 Morgan and silver peace dollars due to the silver shortage. First, they blamed it on, the global situation, but then we got deeper into the real reason, which is the suppliers that aren't, and the codes that that they can't keep up with these laws. So when I say this stuff, guys, and I'm saying this because a lot of people don't do research like I do. And I'm not saying that to try to boast myself. I'm just being honest. I do this on a daily basis. I have a site that posts probably 15 to 20 articles per day. and I go through every single article and share the most relevant ones on my channel. I've been doing this since 2016, early 2016, on a daily basis. I've been posting daily silver stacking videos since 2016, going over all of this information all day long. So when I say something, I don't make it up. I mean what I'm saying, and I look at data and information. I'm not trying to say that to, oh, I told you so. It's just when a lot of people try to say that I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm just showing the information and the data, and most times they're the ones just speculating or assuming premiums are high because Wall Street silver. It's much deeper than that, guys. And you even heard the article. This situation isn't going to cure itself anytime soon. As long as the US Mint's continuing or going to continue experience difficulty, it's going to have a hard time finding silver, and that's because the government has a strong interest in holding down silver and gold as a major tactic to minimize interest rates that it pays on its own 30 trillion, which would almost certainly override any consideration of allowing the US Mint the flexibility to acquire sufficient silver. But they could change the law, but the guy even says, I doubt that would ever even be considered. So no, premiums aren't just going to magically poof go down next year like a lot of people are saying. This situation is nowhere near fixed. I could only see it getting worse. And as premiums keep going higher, I don't see how people are going to keep buying Eagles as they are right now the most beloved coin, selling 5 million ounces the first month of January. I think people are going to start to turn their back on them and start to go to cheaper alternatives. That's just my take on it. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Like I said, if you're still listening to this video, pat yourself on the back, because I can guarantee most people clicked off within a minute or two thinking they know it all or they don't need to know anything. And those are the people that think they know it all. When they don't look at any actual information, they think that their assumptions are correct and no one can tell them otherwise. Even if they watch this video, they would still probably just ignore all the facts, think it's some blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to try to come at me like I'm the wrong one when I'm just the one that shows the actual information and doesn't go off what I think. But anyways, yeah. Anyways, I hope you're having a beautiful day. I just really wanted to clarify that for you guys when it comes to American Eagles. And yes, the silver shortage is much deeper than just the investment sector. Most of it comes from the industrial sector. The U.S. Mint only produces roughly 13 million ounces per year when global demand exceeded a billion ounces. The silver shortage is coming from the industrial sector, the green revolution as we expand into electric vehicles, into solar panels, 5G towers, silver lithium-ion batteries, so on and so forth, as silver is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity, electricity, even light sensitivity. We need silver for everything and anything, but we just don't have enough of it. Demand is exceeding a billion ounces. Imagine what the demand's going to be in 3 or 4 years when production's only 855 million ounces this year, and they're saying by 2026 it could get up to like 900 million on a good day or on a good year. It's not possible for the world to go green. The silver shortage is starting to happen. But this isn't the investment sector is a whole separate situation in terms of premiums right now, guys. Man, like I don't make this stuff up, right? It just kind of bugs me when I hear or watch other videos of these people just blatantly just saying false stuff when it's completely wrong. When I'm sitting here showing this stuff. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was 1, educational, 2, informational, 3, at least entertaining, make sure to hit the like button. I post daily videos every single day, but I'm also doing a giveaway. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. This is Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.